old comedy, specials and this and that, and the sitcoms like All in the Family and all. I watched them all. I remember the first serious comedy. I remember watching my parents for years. I remember when I was like 4 or 5, maybe even 7, it was on the air. So Laughing. I guess it was the last few years, a couple of years of Laughing. But I remember that as a youngster. I remember the Laughing. It was Sakatumi and Very Interesting and all that stuff. And that who was the speaker? What was his name? Who had the deep voice? It was a creative show. It was I don't know if it. I mean, it is timeless in a sense. They did cross certain lines that other people didn't before them. So they opened the door for future shows. Almost I wouldn't say a decade because the show went to about 73, 74. So two or 3 years later, Saturday Night Live started. So that definitely opened the door for that. I remember watching as it happened. Yes, as a 10 or 11-year-old. What was I not? I had to be at least 10, somewhere, maybe 11 or 12. Richard Pryor had a series of specials. I think it was going to become a new series, or they were testing it out. That's where Robin Williams got his first start. And I remember being a little disappointed that it was funny, but not as funny as it could have been. Like when he hosted Saturday Night Live, I did watch those shows. I think I watched every Saturday Night Live show since I was like 8, 7, 8, 9, whatever, somewhere in there. But really, since like literally from the get-go. From reading about it in the newspaper, like this new show, I was, not that I stayed up much past 12, 15, I couldn't do it, so I would just pass out. But usually I would catch the weekend update, and then maybe, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, so maybe even 12:30, but I definitely usually didn't make it to the whole show at that age, especially. So once, I hit like around 11 or so, I mean, it was great watching, all those shows, especially the first 5 years. I still think are the best. I know, the late 80s, early 90s shows, could rival at times, I guess. They didn't rival the original, but rival, good comedy, and some of the early 2000s, so forth, were okay. What else was a good decade? Even the 80s. Who was in the 80s. The second half of the 80s was probably closest thing to the original as far as funny, but it wasn't close. I mean, each progressive decade, I thought, the comedy got watered down, although you had some amazing moments in the 90s with guys like Farley and that whole cast and so forth. Who else? But you're never going to top, Chevy Chase, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, and then a year later after Chevy Chase left, Bill Murray stepped in his shoes. I mean, those are huge shoes to fill, and he did a respectable job. I mean, his first year was okay. Each year he got a little funnier and better. Just fantastic time period, fantastic shows that, I think are unmatched still to this day. I watched the repeat episode of Kirk Douglas started when he hosted in 1980, and I thought that was pretty amazing, some of the stuff, especially Bill Murray's skit at the bar mitzvah. That was a classic. But anyways, so, yeah, you got to remember your past, your comic past. Talk to you later. Talk to you later.